The honourable member for Perth Wellington.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I'm a little surprised to all of a sudden figure out that the Liberals have figured out what agriculture is. I mean, after all, it was completely absent in their speech from the throne. Barely managed less than 2 pages in the budget, and even then was just reasserting previous Conservative policy. So I'd like to ask the honourable member from Tobique-Mactaquac how it is that all of a sudden they are these great supporters of agriculture and the agricultural industry, but yet their government has been completely absent from the policy up until this point.
The honourable member for Tobique-Mactaquac.
I'd like to thank the honourable colleague for his question, and I'd like to remind him that it was our party that fought hard for and implemented the supply management sector that we see today. True. And we continue to work hard for Canadian farmers because we, as a party and as government, recognize that rural economies depend on a strong agricultural sector. And if we're going to see agricultural producers and the rural economy grow, it's going to be through our farmers. Our farmers are the backbone of this country. Thank you very much.
Questions and comments. The honourable member for Windsor-Tecumseh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to ask my honourable colleague if he is concerned at all that 2 government agencies regard our dye-filtered milk product differently. Is that a concern at all, that the Canadian Border Services Agency and the Canada Food Inspection Agency treat it differently?
The honourable member for Tobique-Mactaquac.
I'd like to thank the honourable member for a question. As we all know, this is an issue that we inherited from the former government, and if it was a simple issue, it would have already been settled. And what I would like to say is that we are working hard to resolve this issue. And, you know, it's not simply an issue of 2 departments that can't agree on the same issue. There are greater factors that figure into this entire complex issue. And we are working hard on behalf of all Canadian farmers to resolve it as expediently as possible.
Questions and comments. Questions et commentaires. The honourable member for Malpeque.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Madam Speaker, and I really enjoyed the remarks from the member from Tobique-Mactaquac, and I know he's worked hard in the farm industry himself over the years, and he understands how important supply management is and how important the dairy industry is to this country. I know he, in fact, campaigned on strengthening the farming sector, and I just can't accept the remarks from the member for the Conservative Party earlier that tried to denigrate what the Liberal Party does in agriculture. We have been the party of agriculture. We're the ones that put in supply management. And I wonder if the member could tell us how important the supply management industry is to this country.
Honourable member for Tobique-Mactaquac.
I'd like to thank my honourable colleague for his question. And he's absolutely 100% right. I did campaign on a strong agricultural sector and building the sector within Canada. I grew up in agriculture. My friends are from agriculture. And I've traveled all over this country over the past years with various boards, working on behalf of the New Brunswick Federation of Agriculture, working with Canadian Young Farmers Forum, representing the views of young people in agriculture. And I'm committed to working with this government, with members just like the one that just asked me the question, to try to grow the economy in the rural sector. And the best way, the strongest way, and the most efficient way to grow the economy in rural Canada is through agriculture, and it needs to be in a sustainable manner that represents the needs of all agricultural producers, not just supply managed producers, but all agricultural producers from across this country, from coast to coast to coast. Thank you very much.
Questions and comments. L'honorable député de Rimouski-Neigel.
The honourable member.